that after the NBA draft lottery results came out yesterday, I think it's more than safe to say that the Anthony Edwards to the Atlanta Hawks train won't be happening anymore. It's just more about the Hawks won't be selecting in the top 3 as once projected. But fear not, Hawks fans, you aren't screwed. Having the 6th pick isn't ideal, but at the same time there are still many good prospects available at this pick, and one of them most likely will be Killian Hayes, and he would fit perfectly with this Hawks roster. Now Killian Hayes, in my personal opinion, is the best passer off the pick and roll in this draft. This man runs the pick and roll as if he's a 10-year veteran. He has a good feel for reading the defense. He knows when to either make the pass to the rolling big man or to use the screen to create some separation for himself to get a jumper. And there are even times where he uses the pick and roll just to create shots for wings that are on the perimeter. The way that Killian is able to use the pick and roll to his speed and isn't rushed by any particular event that happens on the court really reminds me of how D'Angelo Russell plays. Considering how one of the best young shooters in the league in Trae Young is already on the roster, this will just help both Killian and Trae's game. For Trae Young, it gives him a legitimate playmaking and scoring option next to him. When checking the Hawks' most common starting lineup this year, they had Young, Reddish, Huerter, Hunter, and Collins. The issue with this lineup is that there is truly only one playmaker in Trae Young that is able to create shots for himself and for his teammates. Reddish is still trying to figure it out in the league. Hunter's game never really was creating his own shot in the first place. Huerter is basically a 3-and-D prospect as of right now. And Collins, while he can't score and do a little bit of everything, you're not going to give him the ball from the perimeter and consistently ask him to make a shot for himself or for his teammates. He can do it at times, but on a winning team, you can't have Collins as your second best creating player. As a result, with Killian on the Hawks, he'd be able to greatly take off so much pressure and attention that is directed towards Trae Young. For Killian, having Trae Young out there on the perimeter will give him more spacing to drive and to read the defense. And when Killian does drive into the rim, he does his part in making shots in the paint. Whether it be him doing a really crafty left-handed finish, or him doing a nice little floater in the paint. Killian is shooting 58% in the paint, and this is really solid for a guard and will most likely improve due to the spacing that the Hawks roster maintains. As we mentioned the spacing of the floor, it is this reason why I believe that the Hawks would be the best destination for him. Killian, as of right now, isn't the best shooter. For his career, he is shooting 27.4% from 3. But throughout his 3 professional seasons, it has been improving. For instance, on shots off the dribble, Killian improved the percentage from 31.4% last year to 41.4% this year. The main reason why I believe that he struggles with his shot is most likely due to the overextension of his elbow in his shooting. But besides this blemish in his shot, it could easily be improved, and considering how the Hawks will most likely have 4 shooters surrounding him in either Young, Huerter, Hunter, Collins, and even Dedmon, the need for Hayes to be a 3-point threat won't be needed as instantly as some people may believe. Now, the only thing that I see when people discuss about Killian Hayes' weaknesses is that Killian isn't that good of a defender, he isn't that athletic, and as stated before, he can't shoot the ball that well. Now, the last 2 are true for the most part, because I still believe that Killian's jumper can easily be fixed, but him not being a good defender is something that I entirely disagree with. I in fact believe that he is a wonderful team defender. What I'm saying here is that Killian Hayes can read all along the basketball court to try and see what the opposing team is trying to do on the offensive end. He knows when to show help. He knows when to be able to make a gamble and try to get a steal. And by the way, for all those who try to say that Killian still isn't a good on-ball defender, take a look at this chart. This chart shows the percentages that opposing guards shot against him when Killian was a primary or secondary defender. There is only one spot on this graphic that Killian Hayes struggled with defending that I'll give to you. Every other spot, this dude has shown to be able to play good defense. Yes, I know he isn't the most athletic. Yes, I know he's not the fastest laterally. But at some point, people are just overpicking just to overpick, and I believe this is a classic example of that. Killian Hayes is starting to gain traction as the draft gets closer and closer. Can he be selected before the Hawks make theirs? Of course he can be. But if the Hawks are able to still select them when they are on board, they shouldn't hesitate to do it. Until next time, peace.